It's up to you.
Yeah.
All right then. So
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Long time ago.
Yeah. We had so many calls for us to come back. People were begging us, and we've been trying to stay as private as possible because we are
He's telling Fibs we're working on our other channel. If you haven't seen our other channel,
spoiled it.
Happy Adventures.
Yeah. Anyway, so I like to talk about stuff that I get into debates sometimes on some of the groups I'm involved in, spiritual groups, and there's some interesting things that I like talking about. And people always think I'm arguing, but it's not. I mean, I don't argue. I just say, well, what about this and what about that? And so that's how I've always been myself. If I have something, I might sort of learn something and say, I wonder if that's true or not then. I don't know. And so I question everything. And so this one today was about, I write something to somebody and they say, like, the Advaita stuff, I'm not I. There's no I here. Where is the mind? Blah, blah, and they go off like, and you go around in circles with that. I think people got the wrong idea about Advaita. And it's not about there's no I. You have to look at it and you have to reason. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
You have to question, well, why do we call me Phil or Ozay or
Indiana
Indiana? Why do I have a name and why do I say I? I mean, am I supposed to say this thing says I, or this thing says, or this thing wants, or this wants?
Yeah.
Why don't we just say I? It's easy.
There is a bit of a movement at the moment, isn't it? That non-gender and people. But that is another talk. Yeah,
that's a good talk. Okay. That is straighten a few people's minds out there, but I would make a lot of enemies.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
You might even be banned from YouTube or Facebook because you can't express your opinion anymore, as it being seen that you discriminate or that you're against. We are not against freedom of people, but when it comes to us, there are two genders, a he and a she. But if a he wants to be
born in between.
Yes. Oh yeah, we had a boy in the village. He had both.
Yeah.
But if somebody identifies with a she while being born a he, I am not going to stop those people. I'm not going to criticize those people either. But don't expect me to say, there is more than two genders. There are two genders, and we are born as a he or a she. And if you feel you're in the wrong body, fair enough. Everybody has that freedom. I'm Dutch. Normally the Dutch culture is very liberal and acceptable, but we should also accept how we see things and not being forced into seeing it into other ways.
Yeah, because I think it should be spoken about a lot because there's a lot of people, a lot of kids, and I can clear it up in a minute,
Yeah.
I try to make the speech simple. The key word is identity, and look into what is identity. Identity is something that we need to communicate. It's something like we put a name on a piece of paper.
To make it clear.
Male or female, right? Well, I look at myself, I got a pair of danglers and a sausage, so that makes me male. And Ahiranta has boobies and yummy yummy.
And then maybe a female. And even that nowadays can't.
Yeah,
did you say yummy yummy?
Yeah.
That can't be done anymore either. Be careful, you will put it on the carpet. You talk, I do.
Yeah, so the key word, like I said, is identification. So how do we tell a baby is a male or a female? Well, we in the right places at birth, it's a female, and that's it. Your mind doesn't need to do anything with that. So, okay, after that, it's all mind. And that's what we were talking about today. I am not that person. They get the idea from the non-duality of Advaita or something they call it. And it's non-dual. It's a state. consciousness you come to in very deep meditation, where you lose a sense of self, where you lose the identity. And so you don't...
it's not a mental concept that you say there is no I. That is where they come from. They say it's...
Yeah.
They only know it from reading books. They haven't done the meditation as you have done.
No.
And then you become a non-identity.
Yeah.
And they try to show off online by writing no, there is no I.
Yeah.
Okay, mate.
Where is the mind?
The fact that you write that shows that you are still only in the intellectual process, and that's fine. But they find it very difficult to accept it from somebody who has experienced it.
Yeah, and what I did, I really feel sorry for the youngsters. Really feel sorry for the youngsters, because they're becoming so confused. Yeah. The teachers would even tell them, because they're confused. They pretend to know, but they are confused. Yeah. Like I said, identity is the key word. It's a tool. We identify a badger because it has certain morphic shape, certain colours. That's a badger. That's a fox. That's a human. What sex is that human? Well, let me have a look. I don't need to ask that person what she is. She's either a she or a he. And I look in the right places at birth. It's a female, and that's it. Your mind doesn't need to do anything with that. If your mind does something with that, then you're losing control of your mind. You're losing control of the truth. You're losing perspective. And that's what I'm fearful of with these, with what's going on in the Western world today. I mean, if you listen to Putin, that's one of the things he likes to condemn the West with, how they're going off their rockers about stuff like that. Yeah. I'm not going to speak about the war, but it's true. If you don't know what you are, if you can't look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, yeah, that's a male or a female sex organ, then that means that I'm a male or a female. Yeah. There's no...
Yeah, but the fact that they say there is no I, that is... we have to communicate with each other. For example, at the moment we are in contact with the police. There has been something happening in the street, and accidentally we saw the people of interest walking by. But the police comes and asks me, were they male or female? What am I going to say? I don't know how they identify. Yeah. Do they identify as a he or a she? So you need...
what do you say?
Yeah, you need exactly. to have words.
Well,
they are males. Maybe they identify as females, and God bless them. Yeah. But in the eyes, as they looked, how they dressed, how they came out, they are males.
Yeah.
So we need to create an identity to function in the world. But the point is that we don't identify with what we are labeled. A badger, we call a badger because otherwise how do I explain to you the beautiful animals that comes in our garden? You are my husband. That doesn't mean that you're my possession. It doesn't mean nothing. It just means we have made a vow to each other that we want to share our lives together. And that is called husband. Yeah. Our daughters have made another choice. They have a wife. Our daughters have a wife, and our daughter-in-law has also a wife, which is our daughter. And we have two daughters who have chosen to live with a female. We don't condemn any of it, but don't force us to become politically correct, because that's what it is, isn't it? Either everybody tries to, not everybody, sorry, it's generalizing.
Well, this is not allowed to happen. You'll probably be banned off the net.
Yes, there will be complaints.
Have to edit some of this out.
But then democracy is about the freedom to talk about how your insight is, the freedom.
That's it. The key word, the second key word is free.
Without hurting. My intent is not to condemn a group of people, is not to spread hatred. I love everybody the way they are. Everybody is free to live their lives as they seem fit, as long as they don't hurt any other person around them. And if somebody gets hurt because two women we have lovely neighbors, also 2 girls. If they get hurt about those girls living together, that is their problem, not the girls. Their concept that it is wrong, that hurts their feelings. We can't live our life to pussyfoot around everybody else. So it is about freedom of expression without hatred.
That's what I think. Like,
yes,
we're supposed to be given free will.
Yeah.
Supposed to be given free will, but you're not allowed to talk about certain things, this being one of them.
Yeah.
But the thing is, right, it's like we spoke about at birth, we're identified male or female.
Yeah, they ask it.
Very rarely you get a double upper, a male and a female in one, but they're rare. And so they may have issues, or should they just say I'm male and female?
Yeah.
So I can go both ways.
She, or she, he.
Yeah, something like that. But the problem is people are believing that the mind is an identity. The mind only describes.
Yeah.
The mind has free will.
Yeah.
And it can think in all kinds of fields, in all kinds of areas, but it doesn't need to think. It doesn't mean that it think in the truth. It can think up fantasies and believe those fantasies are real.
Yeah.
And say that, no, I'm not. You never picked me up, and I was a male when I was at birth. I was a female, but everyone else saw you had a willy between your legs.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have to accept the barrier firm between the truth, where the truth lies, and the truth does not lie in a mind that's allowed to fantasize and to imagine and to get turned on by a brick wall, or to get turned on by an animal, or get turned on by things you're not supposed to be turned on by. That's free flowing. That's your right, your free right to have free will, and free will is free thought. But when that free thought goes against what is real outside, that's when it's going to cause problems.
Yeah.
And the problem is as well, it is a kind of, the human mind has the ability to take in impressions, like you can put impressions like hypnosis. You can make people believe that your fantasies are real, but they are not.
Yeah, you look at children.
Yeah.
Children can be Batman.
Yeah.
They don't identify with a strict structure. A boys often when they go play, they become identified because they hear things. Oh, boys should be like this, boys should be like that. But if you leave a child free, they become Batman whenever they want. And they are Batman or Superman or Superwoman. And that's beautiful because they still have that freedom in their mind of being non-identity, but they will repeat what they have learned. You're a boy. So if somebody asks them, what are you? Well, somebody told me that I'm a boy, so I'm a boy. But if you would teach a boy that he's a girl and he wouldn't come in contact with other people, he would say, I'm a girl.
Yeah. But what if I say to you, like, I'm a man, but I'm really a girl born in a man's body? What would you say to that? You would say, you should be saying, the truth is, well, you're a person who was born a man who wants to believe he's a girl, or who believes he's a girl. That's the truth.
Me personally wouldn't say any. I would say, yeah, that's fine. Because if that person doesn't come to me for advice, I don't have the right to lecture that person. But the people online come to you for advice and truth. It's a source, a platform where people seek truth seekers group. So that is different. But if somebody comes to me, well, I'm Rachel, but I would like you to call me Rick. Okay, Rick, nice to meet you. It's none of my business. None of my business.
Yeah, but you're a pacifist.
But you talk about...
You don't like conflict.
No.
Yeah.
Those people don't come to me for my insight. They just introduce themselves and make known how they want to be addressed. Fine. If they're going to, what do you think about it? Yeah, then I will express what I think. But still in a way that I hopefully not hurt their feelings or damage them mentally, because you don't know where they come from.
They have their own feelings. That's the problem, right? they're making laws now where you can't say this, you can't say that,
Yeah.
because you're going to hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
And it's like, I had to grow up with a sensitive ego myself, and my feelings was being hurt all the time. But I matured, I grew up, I became a man. I didn't stay as a little boy all
But
the
you
time.
don't set out to hurt people. That is the point.
Well, if you set out to deliberately hurt somebody,
Yeah,
then
that's different.
It's all about intent, isn't
Yes,
it?
that's
If the
intent.
person,
That's right.
it's intent.
Yeah.
Then for me, because I've grown up more and I've passed that, I see it for what it is. That person wants to hurt me because they're not mature enough to deal with certain things. So therefore, the problem lies within them. It doesn't lie within me.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's nothing they can. When I spot that, well, first of all, I say, well, let me see now. Is this true what you're saying about me? Actually, it's not. But what is probably true is your feelings have been hurt, and you don't have any self-control. And I've grown up, and I've learned to control those immature feelings. You need to grow up. But what they are telling us now is that no, you don't give them a chance to grow up. You don't allow them to mature. You have to go with them. You know, like the little child never grows up, and you have to keep saying, "Oh yes, you really Batman. You really who you say you are." And everybody like scratches their head and think, what a right Charlie we got here. Like, nobody got any backbone to tell them the truth, and they're never going to grow up.
But it's true. I will sidestep every form of conflict. It's true. I can't be asked either. No. I live in my own pink bubble, and sometimes it gets a bit shaken, that pink bubble.
By the world out there.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair enough. I don't expect the world to adjust to me. That's the difference.
It's sensitivity.
Yeah, but I don't expect the world to tiptoe around my sensitive feelings. But I also don't appreciate people coming towards me and uninvitedly giving me their opinion. Their opinion has no space in my world. But if I ask for people's opinion, then I will listen to what they have to say. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I have to do what they say.
You have to have you have to find compassion. You have to. I mean, if a person can't take the truth, and they've like one of those people that have been brought up in a fantasy world, never introduced to the truth about what it's all about here.
Yeah.
Then you can't just go in there without compassion and look at it, because you're not going to...
You break them. You
by
can break them, yeah.
telling some people the truth, you're going to destroy them because they've never been introduced to it. But what I say is, you introduce them to the truth right from the very start. Mommy, am I a boy or a girl? I mean, how many parents now must be dealing with their children? They're coming home from school. Mommy, today we had sex lessons and they told us that I can be whatever sex I want to be. And you think, what?
Yeah.
It's like...
They're so impressionable.
No.
I don't agree with
that.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
I don't agree with that.
And, you know, I'm the same as Ahiranta, you know, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone.
But it hurts the child. It hurts the child because they're so impressionable. You confuse them. If a child comes to you...
And the future.
If a child comes to you and says, I would like to be a girl, well, you go and be a girl. If that is what you want to try, you go and be a girl. But you are a boy, you're born a boy. You are going to have a lot of trouble if you go on that path. You don't stop loving the child because they got it from somewhere. So they need all the support, but I don't agree with giving children early hormone treatments to stop their natural development.
And who's the child to plan their future like that as well?
And also, often the people we have talked to online, they are sexually abused, and by that they want to become the other gender. So I don't say everybody's the same, it's all there. It's a very difficult topic to be considerate to people who are struggling with their identity. But I don't think we should go onto that path to give really young people that choice and a medical change. I don't think that's the right path.
I would send them on meditation.
That is my my how I see things. I mean, I am now 63 and I'm only just about grown up.
You're kidding me. You're not 63.
He was he has have a birthday now. This is day 3 of his birthday, 68. Yeah, no, we have been
true.
around. We have been around the block a
She
little
thought it was 86. She gets the numbers mixed around.
yeah, almost bought.
She almost bought me an 86-year-old birthday present.
Yeah, we better shorten this. This will go over here.
So anyway, taking it back then
Yeah.
to the original point is like Advaita, who is the I, and they were coming from like a meditative standpoint, but they don't realise they are trying to introduce it into the physical world. And the mind world is anything you want to create in there, and that's fake. Everything the mind creates is fake. As soon as you say I, is fake. And identity is something we use. We identify animals, we identify sexes.
To communicate.
And it's the body speaks, not the mind, because the mind is fake. And that's what you find out in meditation. On long retreat into no mind. Meditate on no mind. Take the mind away and you just left. And you're asked to identify what your body is. Or you look at your body. It's nothing the mind is saying. The mind's not pretending or faking. And it just speaks the truth. There's the penis. There's the boobs. Female, male. And that's the truth. And I hope that you parents out there will really come down to earth about this, because I dread what future generations are going to be like if the BBC get their own way, and whoever's funding those people to spread this fake information about identification, and they put it into our National Health Service, and doctors have to listen to 6-year-old kids telling them that no, I'm not really a male, which they are. I'm a female, and I want my diggy cut off, and I want to be a woman. And you don't want to put those children through that. You want to put them a firm foundation in the truth. And the truth is, mind is fake.
Yeah.
As soon as you say I, it's fake. That's what deep meditation tells you, the truth.
Yeah.
And you only see what is before you.
And if a man wants to dress up in a
Good
dress,
enough.
I don't mind that either. That doesn't hurt anybody either. If that is what you want to be dressed and makeup up, just go ahead, but don't force it upon other people. That is, I don't want to have it forced upon me.
Or don't brainwash people either, because that's what the BBC does.
At the moment, yeah. And they call it is all inclusive. Yeah, it is lovely that we are all inclusive, but first let's live with each other as human beings without spreading the forced identities upon other people. And again, I'm all for expression, freedom of expression. But
And play acting, but just remember there's a distinction between play acting, the role player, like the BBC, they put some nice films on, and it's all imaginary, it's all fake, it's all pretense. Always remember that it's just role playing.
Yeah.
And a role is not real.
Yes.
That's what's
no
real.
matter what role you choose.
Yeah, it's not real.
Yeah.
You just do it to communicate, to live in this world, and we create an I. We say I am Ozay, I am Bianca, or I am Ahiranta, or whoever, and that's it. It's just it's a communication tool for a social community. And we can't survive without those.
We couldn't communicate if we don't have the words.
But when it goes into denying what you're born with, that's when it's wrong. And I'm fine, I got no problem with the gays or
transgender,
or whatever, because if you don't get turned on by your opposite sex and you get turned on by your same sex, fine. I've got no problem about that. That's great.
Yeah.
Freedom. Yeah. That's what life's all about.
Yeah.
Go that path and see what you learn from it.
Yeah.
But,
absolutely.
But
it's all about freedom.
Set the boundary lines in the right places. It's just going hectic.
Yeah. Well, that politically correctness, that goes a little bit too far the other way, because it limits the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But when you talk to the people online about the spiritual I, there is no I, that is just coming from people who haven't done the work yet. They have just read something, want to identify as being knowing, and that is...
I remember having a long debate about that with somebody, and I had a track where it came from, right? And it turned out it was a guy, I forgot his name, he used to wear these underpants and walk around half naked, and it turned out that
The
there was
Indian man? The Indian?
yeah, I forgot his name, Ramana or something?
No.
Rama?
Is it
Ramana?
with the little glasses?
No, not him,
Ah.
that's Gandhi.
Ah.
And
Okay.
it turned out that what happened was this guru, he'd have a group of practitioners, or whatever you want to call them, sat around him in meditation. They wanted to learn to meditate. And then they would say, one would ask a question, they would say, I find this. And then he would say, stop right there. You said, I. Where is the I? Examine where the I is. Stay in meditation, examine where the I is. And they go, oh, there's nothing there. And blah, blah. So every question, he would meet those people with that. And there was one of those students sat there with him who wanted to make money. So he wrote books. And then he wrote, there's no I, there's no this, there's no that. And the context was different. As soon as you put it in a book and you put it into the philosophy of human society, it doesn't integrate. Meditation does not integrate with the material world. And we're trying to, when we sit in meditation, we're not sitting in the material world no more. We're going within and we're discovering what's inside. And there's nothing. And when we get into the nothing, we can tap into the universal consciousness. And that's what that was all about. And that's where a lot of misunderstandings have come from. Advaita and Ramana. And the guy who wrote that book to make money from those, he was trying to teach that group of students, and that's where it came from.
Yeah, and then the people read that book, and then they become so-called gurus.
Yeah, they want to make money.
Yeah.
All wrong. Okay, that's it, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Bye for now.
Subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, we are starting again.
Yay.
We're back.